Here we are with this week's edition of Backpage Blues. I'm here with Charlie Skillen from the MailOnline. Charlie, first things first, Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. Happy, sad, what do you reckon?
It's definitely the toughest draw we could have got. That said, I still make Chelsea comfortable favourites. Mourinho said that he wanted Paris before the draw. And, you know, he didn't want to fly out to Ukraine. He wanted a quick trip across the channel. We beat them narrowly last year, and we're a vastly improved side.
I think that we're all very careful if we take Mourinho on face value. But with this one, I can't believe that this is his dream tie. Ibrahimovic, Lavezzi, this is terrifying. Like, this morning, I was considering throwing myself over. I thought it was the worst draw we could have got. Since then, I've been speaking to people, the YouTube comments, everyone's so confident that it's changed my opinion a bit. But for this to be the tie that you wish for is insane, isn't it?
He was possibly being a little bit cheeky. Certainly in the office, a few of the non-Chelsea supporters were pretty happy that we drew the hardest tie we could have. But you know, as I said, I still make us comfortable favourites. You know, definitely back us to win over 2 legs.
Yeah, and I suppose they were in a group with Barca, so we've actually done well because that went to the last game, didn't it? Paris and Barca.
And you know, if that result was different, with the same draw, we'd be facing Barcelona, which is a tie that could go any way at all. So, I mean, in that sense, we've been quite lucky. Yeah,
Man City got Barca, haven't they?
Well, yeah, they have. You know, it seems to always happen to them that they, you know, finish second and then they get a really tough draw. I mean, that's certainly the tie of the round.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what, Man City? This has brought me on to something that's really close to my heart and really upsetting me. Frank Lampard. The fella captained us to European glory. I love the bloke. I've never loved another man the way I love him. But for God's sake, give it a rest, Frank. It's getting ridiculous, isn't it? Where do we draw the line as fans? When does he not become the man that we think he is?
You know, I think what he's done for Chelsea will always be there. Certainly, was abundantly clear though. It doesn't matter what anyone connected with Chelsea thinks about the situation. This is between Man City, Frank Lampard, and the MLS. You know, our report back a month or so back before City qualified for the next round was that if they did, that he was going to stay a bit longer. Whether that's going to be the case remains to be seen. It's a difficult situation, and one I've heard a lot of Chelsea fans express complaints about, and rightly so. You know, he stole them sort of 3 points last weekend and kept tabs on Chelsea. It's an interesting one. I think City have been absolutely ruthless in co-opting the legend of Patrick Vieira, for example. Like, he's associated with Man City now rather than Arsenal. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me if they did the same with Lampard. And Lampard.
Frank, no, you've got to come back to London, Frank. It's getting ridiculous. Do you think that Mourinho made a mistake letting him go when he did?
No, I mean, Mourinho spoke to the media about this after the whole game. Said, you know, his plan for Chelsea, what he says his plan for Chelsea is the next 10 years, not the next 12 months. Right. I think that's something a lot of fans want to hear. Matic and Fabregas are in their absolute prime and hopefully will be for another 3 or 4 years. He also mentioned Jeremy Boga. So, you know, I mean, frankly, I can't see Lampard getting in a full-strength side, full-strength Chelsea side. I mean, maybe we've missed some of his directness and some of his expertise.
Some of his goals.
Potentially, but you know, I think the loss has been a little bit offset by bringing Drogba back and having him perform so well. So
that's true. Talking about the weekend, did diving? It's kind of topical now. Gary Cahill, if we're honest, Gary Cahill made a fool of himself, didn't he? Yeah,
it's not something any Chelsea fan wants to see, particularly from, you know, someone we consider a kind of proper sort of English centre half. It's something the media made a lot of, quite rightly, in my opinion. That said, I think Costa was a little bit harsh. I think there was contact there, but I mean, Cahill literally just jumped between those two Hull guys. I mean, frankly though, that game was won in 8 minutes. The dive did nothing to
it didn't affect the result.
No,
I agree. And now we're looking ahead. We've got Derby in a quarter-final. That's brilliant. What's the word in your office? Are people thinking that Chelsea are going to play a strong team? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Mourinho's a big stickler for playing his full-strength side in any competition. He put massive stock in the League Cup in his first spell here. You know, his first season here when he won it, and then he went on to win the Premier League. Yeah. He always says that really sort of kick-started, you know, the run-in. Yeah. There's 8 teams left in this. Mourinho wants this trophy, certainly. Yeah, and there's nothing better than getting walking down Wembley Way in February, is there? No, certainly not. And, you know, winning, already having silverware in the bag will only bode well for, you know, semi-finals of Champions League, last stage of the FA Cup, and certainly the Premier League. Absolutely. Charlie, thank you very much. Cheers, Rob. Make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss the next edition of Backpage Blues. Cheers.